It's our living room studio. Welcome to the Gus and Ashley show. Hi.
You want to start off?
What's there to start?
Just like you said.
What?
We're in our living room.
We're in our living room. Welcome. And somebody was asking us about the future of in-person events. And we kind of thinking about that. What's your take?
We know a little bit about events. Last year we
know a lot about events.
Last year we were on the road 120 days, and I figured we went to about 3 events a week for every week of the year. Somewhere we were probably in the neighborhood of 150 in-person events.
Is that why you're the events guy?
That's why I'm the events guy. In 2019. 2020 started. We went to a number of events. I went to 7 or 8 events and did a week down in St. Pete Beach, Florida, and then the world shut down. Actually, we did one more event in Philadelphia at the Capitol Grill.
That's right,
on
right
Wednesday,
Center City, right on
our
Broad
Wednesday
Street.
in March, the second Wednesday of March, and the entire country shut down the next day on Thursday.
Yeah.
So our life is running events, and we wanted to kind of give you a state of where we feel the event industry is today. Ash, what are you hearing from our audience?
Well, we work mostly with professionals in the energy industry, and the events that we've been mostly putting together over the past few years have been focused on that industry. Most of those folks are not even back in their offices. Just a handful of professionals that we know, if they're not considered essential, they're working from home, and for some of them, they don't expect to be back into their offices until even July of 2021. So in terms of in-person events, I don't see us running an in-person event for the energy industry probably until July of 2021 at the earliest.
Yeah. I would agree for the energy industry. There have been some events.
True.
Very few. We actually heard of one event where they quarantined the entire attendees and speakers for 3 weeks, had a 2-week long event, and then sent them on their way. And nobody else from outside the resort was allowed in for those. I think they had 1 week of recreation too, so I think it was 6 weeks total for that event.
That just sounds like a lot of commitment, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it was great, but...
one person's paying for it all. I think I would
go. I don't know. That seems like a lot. We actually did some travel this summer during COVID, which, you have to think about what risk evaluation, sort of what you're willing to take on as a risk.
Sure. The travel was interesting. I mean, leaving our house, getting to the airport, I felt was maybe one of the riskiest parts of that, because we had to get in a bus with other people, even though everybody was wearing a bus.
Right, from the park place where we parked to get to the airport.
But the airport was very... We actually had flown 8 times since June. We've been on 8 different flights. The airplane feels very safe. Will say that. We've flown Southwest every time.
They were fantastic, I thought, in terms of just making sure everyone had, not only did they have masks, but they made sure everybody had it covering their nose and their mouth. The airflow, I felt very good about.
They have HEPA filters.
I felt very safe on the plane. And the airports weren't that bad. I mean, for the most part, you could find, kind of a quiet area where there weren't too many people.
Stay away from people, stay away from others.
Yeah.
And then we picked up rental cars both times, and rental cars was a touchless go. The cars were reserved for us, and we just went out, we even signed just credit card in, rolled
really
off, and
easy.
picked up the rental cars. The rental cars were all sanitized and completely clean. That was really nice.
And the hotel stays. I mean,
we stayed at 2 hotels and 1 resort. We stayed at a mid-level hotel, and then we also stayed at a luxury property. Quite frankly, there was nobody except us at the low-level hotel, which felt kind of weird and cool at the same time. It was the first time we got to go to a restaurant.
Nobody else. It was definitely, I mean, that's what was so interesting about it, right? Was that you don't know what you don't know. So having the experience of being in a busy hotel lobby, well, it wasn't very busy, or the not having to share an elevator, or actually being encouraged not to share elevators, was kind of that was a new experience.
Yeah,
But it was good. I mean, it was. I felt like we were pretty safe in all of the situations.
yeah. One of the things that's different.
So.
There's no room service, or no
Right.
room service, and no house cleaning.
Buffets.
No
Right.
buffets, no house cleaning
Right.
unless you ask
There
for it.
was no housekeeping at that.
You have to sort of schedule your house cleaning if you want that. That's been
Right.
in every hotel we stayed at, every resort we stayed
Right.
at.
We had to keep asking for more, like shampoo and shower gel and
Yeah.
conditioner.
I actually attended a business function
That's why you were in
in
a meeting.
Florida. I was in a meeting. We were all about 6 to 10 feet away from each other, and it was felt safe there. Of course, we came home and quarantined for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From both the trips we went on.
It was kind of funny too. So one of those trips, we actually had a virtual event while we were at the resort.
Yes.
And we for the way the sun was coming in, the way the light was coming in, we actually we pretty much rearranged the hotel room so that we could run the virtual event there. And that was fun. It was kind of neat to do it somewhere else, except that we were facing the beach while we were running the event. So all we could do was stare at the beach
For 3
while
hours. Beautiful sunnies.
was maybe the most challenging to stay
Miami
on task
Beach.
and focus on the conference topic and discussion, of course. But no, that was nice.
And then, courtesy of local people around here in Philadelphia, we went to an industry event last week where pretty much everybody had their own table. It was a dine around. We rode on buses with masks and
No, we got
sanitized everything. And
see what venue. There were 3 different venues, and we got to really experience them kind of in the whatever you would call this new normal. We all had masks. We all had hand sanitizer. Shoot, one of the properties actually gave us a proprietary sanitizing spray that they use for surfaces. So I think we've tried that out on a couple of things around the house, but yeah, okay. You must like it. So yeah, no, I mean that was cool to just see what that would be like.
I mean, you notice. I mean, we haven't experienced it, but industry insiders, a ballroom that would normally hold 200 people is now being set for 50 people.
And there were about 30 people at the event.
Yeah, and a ballroom that held 200. There were
Right,
about 30 people at the event.
So
So what do you think the future holds for our industry? For the immediate future, what's your 6 month, 12 month outlook?
Thanks for asking. 6 month outlook, I see virtual events as still being the number one safest way to connect and learn from each other. I mean, we still have a need to learn from each other. We still have a need to connect with each other and kind of learn what everybody else is doing and benchmark. And the virtual events is definitely the way. I'd say beyond 6 months, depending on how quickly the vaccine is disseminated, I would say I hope that we can do some in-person conferences as early as maybe July or September of next year, and I think we're all going to really look forward to that. I think it'll be a nice break. I think we need it. I think we need that human connection and human interaction back in person as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would agree. I know the experience of in-person events will most likely include thermometers or temperature reading. We've already been through a couple of those temperature scans that are automatics. You'll have to sign waivers on whether or not you're well to go in. We're looking through the airlines today. The airlines are looking at issuing a quarantine passport, a digital quarantine passport, where you're going to have prove that you've been quarantined before you get on a plane. But
interesting.
It'll definitely. And the other thing's going to happen in the
And
future.
spacing out. I mean, we're going to be, normally we have maybe 5 people to a round at our conferences, and you know, I think we're gonna have a larger space with fewer people, and perhaps running a hybrid event for folks who are still not comfortable coming out in person, that we'll have that available as a virtual event as well. Yeah.
Good. What do you think? Is a wrap on this?
Absolutely.
Guys, if you have any questions, post them below or reach out to us. Ashley and I, we're at utilityevents.com. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and today we've got a TikTok account. So we're really excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So anyway,
Stay safe, stay healthy.
see you at an event really soon. Thank you.